Hello friends, it is Tim Bond and I am here at CSI, and I thought what I could do this morning is give you a quick walkthrough of the place, starting with this cool installation that we've got here. So this was created for Earth Day by some of the members here, and I feel like it gives you a pretty good idea of what the space is about. This installation was created and it was posted right here near one of the most active areas in the space, which is the coffee station. So for everyone coming into the area, they got a reminder message in a very visual way about what it means to look after the planet, basically, and avoid disposable items. Now, the CSI is an organization that is full of groups that are working on problems like this, whether it be related to racism or poverty. There are tech companies here, there are social organizations here. So I'm really looking forward to introducing all of you guys to this space and getting you to show what you can do with your developer skills. So let's do a quick tour. Okay guys, now we're going to keep it a little bit quieter because we're going to head back into the what they call the hot desk area and some of the dedicated offices. And you never know, there could be some early morning people in working. So I'm going to keep my voice down, but hopefully you can hear it all right. This is kind of the quieter area. So heading on in. So this is an area that I would hang out in a fair amount if I'm not down in the makerspace. This is the hot desk area, or one of the hot desk areas. And there's areas like this on each floor. And so these are for use by people who are maybe like freelancers and so forth, and they want to have a space to work in, but not necessarily a dedicated office. Now there are, of course, groups here who have dedicated offices, and you can see they're all kind of numbered, like we see here. And so for instance, these guys, Protein Cure, they are doing some really cool stuff. These are guys who are working on like alternative protein sources that are super efficient. So think of getting away from like large scale farming operations that are unhealthy for land and looking towards sources like, believe it or not, like insects and so forth as protein sources. And they are doing some really cool stuff. There's all kinds of interesting groups like that in here. It's kind of why I enjoy being in the space here. So you get the idea of the atmosphere here. Everywhere you find these chalkboard installations, and they're just kind of a heads up on everything that's going on. You can see here we've had a pretty extensive experience with Earth Week. It's kind of a big deal around here. So you can see lots of activities going on, which I love. Okay, let's head on back a little further here. Now we are in one of the floors, but there are like 6 floors in this building, all of them full of groups and organizations like this. There's another like dedicated desk area. So these are no, not full offices, but it's another option for people. If they are doing more work in the space, they can get a dedicated desk, or they can go all the way up to like, you know, a nice little office space like we see here. And so we keep heading on back. And back here, we're going to find more hot desk space. So if I don't happen to feel like working from over there, I can always plunk myself down in this area and, meet more people, make more contacts, which is cool. And then back here in the dedicated desks that we find here, let's take a quick look. This is where one of my friends works out of. So Mark is an industrial designer with many years of experience. You can see he's got his personal 3D printer set up right here. So he finds it convenient to have a nice little base of operations up here. You can see though, like he's got some of the tools from the makerspace. And so we're going to head down, and I'm going to take you through the area that we're going to be doing the grad show in. But this gives you a pretty good sense of, what the space is and how eclectic the groups are here. But they're all pretty cutting edge, and there's all, you know, it's a great place to grow a network here, I would say. So I really wanted to introduce you to this space. So yeah, let's head on downstairs. We're gonna head into the large area where we're gonna be doing our show from, and then I'll give you a quick tour through the makerspace. It's still early, so hopefully it won't be too noisy in there yet. So yeah, I'll check in with you downstairs. Okay guys, we're outside of the building now, and we're gonna head into the main entrance. Boop. There we go. Okay, so we are now looking in the main floor, and this, my friends, this is the area that we have for our show. You can see it's pretty sizable. We will not be cramped for space here, and you know, so this is main event space at CSI, and we're in the atrium area right here. So we have all this available. And right over here, we've got a kitchen area that we have access to. And so I've got some volunteers who are ready. We're going to do basically like a zero waste catering for this, which means that we're actually going to be prepping the food ourselves and making use of all of the utensils that are provided by the CSI here in order to cut down and not produce garbage, which is pretty cool because I think that isn't usually a big consideration when it comes to planning an event. Now back here, this area is where we're going to have interactive installations going on. So I'll give you an example. For instance, this room right over here, this little room is going to be used for one of the students from Ryerson who has kind of a escape room type of installation, like a mini escape room that he's created, which is really awesome. We have another installation from young designer Ronnie, who has created kind of mechatronic tendrils. If you guys were there that day, I showed a little bit of video for that. So we're, you know, this is how we're going to draw people into this area, by having these really interesting things moving around inside of here. Now we do have this dedicated room which has a double set of projectors inside of it, and this is the area that I am planning to put all of the software development in. So we can have dedicated tables for each of the capstone projects inside of here, and then we can have the projector going that would allow people to do presentations for folks coming in. Now, what I want to do is make sure that you guys are all coming away from this with something good to show inside your portfolios. So I'm going to have my group of media people here who are going to be setting up a video area and helping you to create little video clips to feature your work and yourself that you could use in your portfolios on LinkedIn, wherever is convenient for you. Now, you can see towards the back there, the makerspace. So I am going to walk through there. There may be some mess. There may be some prep going on. But let's take a quick look. We will be conscious of the fact that there may be classes going on as well. But let's head on in. Let's see if my friend will open the door. Alrighty, friends, let me give you a little walkthrough of my favorite area of the building, which is the lending library and the makerspace. And just before we get into that, I can give you the briefing. Like, basically, this is two organizations that run out of here. And the first, the lending library, basically is exactly what it sounds like. It's a library, but instead of books, it's a library of tools, like you see right along here. And so these are things that people with a very, you can, it's basically $50 for the year to get the membership. And then after that, you can take out these tools and take them home and work with them, which is really awesome. And then the goal of the makerspace is that it's kind of the reverse of that. You can come into the makerspace and build things, and you know, the main mandate in the makerspace is learning. So we have programs set up that basically teach people to create you know, their own things, show them how to work with tools and so forth. So maybe I can just give you the quick walkthrough. So right here we see the Gorilla store, and they're not open yet, but I'll just give you a quick little overview here. You know, so this is basically the supply area, so that people don't have to bring everything down here themselves. Now up front here we find the lending library, and so this is a quick overview of the kind of tools that are available. So the idea is, you know, that a lot of tools, they get purchased because you need them one time, and then they just kind of take up room in your space. You're not using them all the time, and the better idea is that you could borrow them, right? So we're producing less electronic waste and less things to go into garbages. Now just to the left here, we are now getting into the makerspace, and we would start with one of my favorite tools. This is awesome to have here, which is the laser cutter, right? So we run programs that actually teach you how to do fabrication with laser cutting, and this little display here can give you kind of an idea of what you can do with a laser cutter. So right here, you know, it's basically can be used for etching, it can be used for cutting, all kinds of surface treatments. It's good for wood, it's good for acrylic materials like this. I've seen people build utterly fantastic things using this machine, so that's exciting. But that is by far not the only tool we have access to in here. So we're getting back into the main area now, and these are the workbenches. I'm going to keep my voice down a little bit because a class is going to be starting soon. But this is common area where anybody who has a membership can come in and work on projects, which is awesome because most people aren't going to have access to space like this. You know, a lot of people around here are in small apartments and condos and so forth, and they wouldn't even necessarily have access to a wide variety of hand tools like this. Now, in addition to the traditional tools, oh, what's up, Tanner? Hey, how's it going? In addition to the hand tools and traditional tools, over here we have tools like the 3D printers. And my friend Kyle heads up the instruction with these as well. So these are a great way to get into doing things like CAD CAM and 3D modeling and so forth. Here's a nice little Buddha that was created in one of the printers. Hopefully I can get it in focus. But that's pretty awesome. From there, even like vinyl cutting right over here, quite popular. And then I will also walk you through, we'll take a quick look inside of the wood shop. We're not going to stay in there because it sounds like they're in operation right now, but let's take a look. All right, let's back off. All right, I mean, just a really quick overview of the wood shop. And then I want to show you one more thing, which I love. And right here is an example of something that is made with the next tool that I'm going to show you, which is CNC mill. So let's head on back here. We're going to cut a left at the desk. We'll say good morning. Hey, making a video for my students. There we go. And right into the CNC room. Yeah, so this has been in heavy operation. Here, let me adjust this. There we go. You can see a little better. This has been in heavy operation for the last few days, but you get the idea. This is basically a full-on CNC machine capable of doing 4x8 sheets of material. It's good for soft metals, it's good for any kind of woods, and it can essentially be programmed to cut out any kind of template that you wish. You can see there's some pretty serious wood stock that we've been producing desktops for the CSI areas upstairs. So that's a pretty cool collaboration. In fact, our grad show is the result of another collaboration that I'll tell you guys all about when I see you. We've also got lathes. So we have the large lathe, and we've got a couple smaller lathes, and we run lathe turning workshops as well. Table router here. You know, so it's just a whole bunch of awesome stuff in one place. So guys, I'm back in the front area, and I'm just chilling in the boat. Actually, believe it or not, there's a boat, which was a donation, and it's got a bunch of cushions, and it's a comfy place to hang out and just, you know, do an impromptu meeting and so forth. And so I thought it's a good place for me to wind up this video. Now, the thing is, guys, like, we're doing this show. It's the first time it's been done. It'll be really interesting to see who we get coming out to it. I'm going to be promoting like crazy this week because I've got a heavy involvement in the FITC festival, and I'm actually working closely with the organizer of the festival, and so he's hooked up some opportunities for me to do that, which is great. But the thing is, guys, the important part of this show, and the reason I really wanted to do it, is I've been teaching for years. And every semester, especially with graduating semesters, which is what I usually teach, there's this phenomena that happens where people are so focused on just finishing up the semester and doing what they need to do that as soon as it's done, they have this moment where they just kind of crash. So you've already had your show, you know, the school has supported you in that regard, and you finish that up and you've got a cool project, you've got something awesome to show, but suddenly all the opportunities to do that are just gone. And your network, the people that you've been working with, your fellow classmates and so forth, that's also kind of gone. And unfortunately, a lot of people just never really come out of that crash, and they wind up like not ever doing what they set out to do. And so the point of this show, which I'm calling Collider, because it brings together you know, students not just from one program, but from many different programs and many different schools, is to keep your motivation going. So there's no pressure with this show, but it's just a chance to come out, meet some grads from other programs, build your network a little bit, maybe find other people you could collaborate with who have different skill sets from your own. And yeah, potentially get your stuff seen by, you know, some potential employers, get your stuff known by all of the organizations that work out of here. I think it's cool to do it in a place where you're physically where a lot of groups that do hiring are located. And a lot of them are looking to work with new people they're working to look with juniors and, you know, new developers and so forth. And even there are groups here that are very friendly and sympathetic to people who are new to Canada. Some of them, their whole point of being in a space like this is to assist people who are new to Canada. So that's another great feature. It's a fully accessible building. They are adamant about it. If you were to see just to the left of me here, like, this is a ramp that was designed by an organization that looks after accessibility issues in Toronto called Stopgap. And they're based out of here, and they built this in conjunction with makers from the makerspace. So there's just a ton of collaboration. And if you're looking to keep your motivation up, if you're looking to, you know, get through that tough initial part where you're on your job hunt, this is going to be a great way for you to get started. So I'm really looking forward to seeing all of you guys. I can't wait to show you this awesome place that I'm in. And, you know, we're just going to have a really good time. So I'll see you on the 5th. That's Timbot signing off, and I'll talk to you soon.